Well, welcome everyone to the deep dive. Today we're plunging right into the, let's say, very deep waters of Herman Melville's Moby Dick, or the whale.
And our mission today isn't just to retell the story, Oten. We want to unpack some of the unexpected insights here.
Yeah, insights about humanity, our relationship with the unknown, the pull of the sea, and of course, obsession, that raw, consuming obsession. We're drawing all this from these amazing excerpts.
It's rich territory. Yeah.
Definitely. And as we follow Ishmael, maybe think about this for yourself. What pushes you? What makes you seek things out or maybe escape when life gets grim?
What's that ungraspable phantom of life, as Melville calls it, that you might be chasing? Maybe without even realizing it. Hashtag tag I. The call of the sea and unexpected bonds.
So that opening line, it's more than just Ishmael's personal problem, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Melville right away makes it bigger. It's not just Ishmael's blues. It's positioned as this universal human thing, this deep, almost primal urge we all seem to have.
Yeah, this longing for something more, beyond the everyday grind.
And he connects it straight away to that ungraspable phantom, which is just such a haunting phrase.
It really is. And this sets up his next move perfectly. He doesn't just drift onto a ship. He makes a very specific choice.
Right. He signs on as a simple sailor, not an officer, not a passenger.
Yeah.
Right there, before the mast.
He says he abominates all honorable, respectable toils. He just wants to look after himself.
And it's a big shift for him. From a country school master to a common sailor. He even says it requires a strong decoction of Seneca and the Stoics to handle it.
Huh. Yeah, like he needs some serious philosophical backup just to endure the change.
Well, it implies embracing that hardship, doesn't it? Finding that inner strength when everything else is stripped away. It's pure self-reliance.
Melville is just brilliant at layering these things right from the start. That personal urge becomes something much, much grander.
He really elevates it. And this pull towards water, it's not just Ishmael feeling it.
No, he gives all these examples. The artist who needs water in a landscape, the poet choosing the beach over a warm coat.
That mystical vibration people feel at sea. Even the ancients, the Persians holding the sea holy, the Greeks giving it a god.
It's everywhere. And Melville seems to tie it all back to that ungraspable phantom, like our connection to water is somehow...
The key to it all, yeah. Mirroring our biggest questions about existence. Water is this huge, mysterious canvas for our own inner quests.
And where he chooses to go is key, too. He wants a Nantucket whaler, specifically. Not New Bedford, even though it was...
Monopolizing the business, yeah.
Nantucket is framed as something special. Her great original, the Tyre of this Carthage. That's a powerful comparison.
It really is. Highlighting its history, its dominance, the birthplace of whaling, almost. He mentions the Aboriginal whalemen, the Red Men, the first voyages.
Yeah.
It's loaded with significance.
It gives the whole industry this almost mythic foundational weight. It's not just a job, it's a tradition, maybe even a calling, however brutal.
And into this world steps Ishmael, arriving at the Spouter Inn. Even the description of the inn.
Yeah, the old-fashioned wainscots, like the bulwarks of some condemned old craft, sets the mood immediately. Maritime, a bit worn down, maybe a little ominous.
But then there's that painting.
Oh, the painting. At first, he just sees chaos bewitched. This wild scene, a hurricane, a wrecked ship, and this whale impaling itself on the masts.
Crazy image.
Totally. But after studying it, he sees it as a kind of final theory. It's amazing how Melville uses this detail. It feels like massive foreshadowing, doesn't it? Hinting at the danger, the sheer scale, maybe even the whale's own strange agency.
Definitely hints at Moby Dick's intelligence, maybe, and destructive power. And don't forget the weapons on the other wall.
Right. The monstrous clubs and spears. Not just tools, but storied weapons. Like Nathan Swain's lance killed 15 whales in a day, or a harpoon found 40 feet inside a whale.
These things are relics, artifacts of this epic struggle, man versus beast. It already blurs the line between hunting and legend.
And this whole atmosphere leads us right into meeting Queequeg.
Yeah, one of literature's great unexpected friendships. But Ishmael's first reaction is pure terror.
Oh yeah, he's quaking. Sees this heavily tattooed harpooner described as a head peddler holding a tomahawk.
And Queequeg's doing this ritual with his little statue, Yo-Jo. It just emphasizes the huge cultural gap between them.
The fear is so real. But what's incredible is how quickly it dissolves.
That's the fascinating part. Ishmael has this internal monologue, this sudden realization.
The man's a human being just as I am. Better sleep with a sober cannibal than a drunken Christian. It's such a radical thought.
It really is. It completely flips his prejudices on their head. And this is before anything really happens between them.
Then he wakes up, finds Queequeg's arm around him, the tomahawk nearby, and the fear's gone, replaced by something else.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How quickly can fear and prejudice just melt away when faced with shared humanity? Or even just basic kindness?
Because Queequeg, despite Ishmael staring rudely at first, is described as civil, kind, charitable. He has this innate sense of delicacy.
Marvelously, essentially polite, yeah.
Yeah.
It shows that character runs deeper than appearances or customs, and this bond they form is going to be crucial. #2, the philosophical depths of the whaling world.
So from this surprising connection, Ishmael and Queequeg step into the wider whaling world. New Bedford is buzzing, but it's also attracting these.
Green Vermonters and New Hampshire men.
Yeah.
Eager but inexperienced. Green as the green mountains whence they came, as Melville puts it.
Right. They're a thirst for gain and glory, but maybe don't fully grasp what they're getting into.
And this mix gets even more intense aboard the Pequod.
Mm.
The crew is this incredible, diverse assembly. You've got the officers, Starbuck, Stubb, Flask, and then the harpooneers.
Queequeg, Tashtego, Daggoo, described as savages. Their complexions tell stories of lives lived across contrasting climates, zone by zone.
It's like a floating United Nations almost, a microcosm of the world, all jammed together on this one ship, bound by this single dangerous purpose.
And the social structure on board is stark. The dining situation really shows it.
Oh yeah, the captain's table is all stiff, hardly tolerable constraint, but the harpooneer's table.
Total opposite. Entire carefree license and ease, the almost frantic democracy.
And poor Doughboy, the steward, he's terrified of them. They're darting forks at him harpoon-wise, threatening to scalp him. His life is a continual lip quiver.
Wow. It's this weird mix of rigid hierarchy and total wildness all crammed together.
That raw, almost chaotic energy is then put side by side with something deeply spiritual. Father Mapple's sermon.
Right. He's this imposing figure, used to be a sailor, harpooneer himself, climbs into his pulpit using a rope ladder, like boarding a ship.
The whole setting is theatrical. And the hymn he sings about being in the whale's belly, deepening down to doom, it sets a heavy tone.
The sermon itself is all about Jonah. It's a two-stranded lesson, he says, for sinners and for himself as a preacher.
And Jonah's big sin, willful disobedience. That's the core message.
Which feels incredibly relevant later on.
Exactly. Mapple hammers this point. If we obey God, we must disobey ourselves. And it is in this disobeying ourselves wherein the hardness of obeying God consists.
Wow, that's quite a statement, disobeying yourself.
And the idea that you can't escape God, right? Jonah tries to flee to Tarshish, but God is everywhere. It's a powerful setup, especially when you think about Captain Ahab.
Ah, yes, Ahab. That sermon feels like it's almost directed at him even before we properly meet him. And when we do, his presence is just magnetic.
Intensely so. The ivory stride, the leg fixed in the deck, that crucifixion in his face, the sheer unsurrenderable willfulness in his eyes.
Even Starbuck, the first mate, feels completely bound to him. He says, Ahab tows me with a cable I have no knife to cut.
That's chilling. It's like being caught in the gravity of Ahab's obsession.
An obsession focused entirely on the white whale.
Moby Dick. The rumors alone make him legendary. Ubiquitous, but immortal.
Yeah, the stories are wild. Spears planted in him, yet he swims off unharmed, spouts blood, then appears leagues away, jetting clear water.
He's already become more than an animal. He's a myth, a force of nature, seemingly indestructible.
And this leads to one of the book's most, I think, startling ideas, the terror of whiteness itself.
Yes, this is such a strange and profound section. Melville observes that whiteness, paradoxically, strikes more of panic to the soul than that redness which affrights in blood.
He uses examples like the white bear, the white shark, the white sea. How does whiteness become so terrifying?
Well, he connects it to this idea of a colorless all color of atheism, to the void, to annihilation. It's the absence of meaning, maybe, the terrifying blankness.
So the white whale isn't just white. He becomes a symbol of this ultimate, unknowable dread.
Exactly. It's like Maybe it's the fear of emptiness, horror vacui, as some might call it.
Mhm.
Not a defined threat, but the potential for anything or maybe nothing. It's a deep philosophical kind of terror.
That adds a whole other layer to Ahab's quest. It's not just revenge, it's like he's confronting cosmic emptiness. Wow.
It's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But amidst all this philosophy, we shouldn't forget the sheer scale of the whaling industry.
Right. Melville calls it the pioneer, ferreting out remote parts of the earth. Whaling captains greater than Cook or Krusenstern, he claims.
And they supply royalty. Kings and queens with coronation stuff, that valuable sperm oil. It drove exploration, drove economies.
And the details of the whale itself and the processing, it's fascinating but also incredibly brutal.
Definitely. The sperm whale's head, for instance, it has the junk full of oil and the case, this huge reservoir of pure liquid spermaceti, the really valuable stuff.
The Great Heidelberg Ton, he calls it, and poor Tashtego falling into it. Horrifying.
A literal death trap hidden inside the prize.
Yep.
And the whale's brain.
Yeah.
Surprisingly small.
Yeah, a mere handful, hidden way back from that massive forehead. So the brow is a false brow, an entire delusion. Like mighty things often present a false front to the world.
A great metaphor. And physically, their need to breathe air makes them vulnerable. That spiracle on top, that's the target.
But hitting it is incredibly hard. A long dart is tough, maybe 20, 30 feet. The success rate is low, maybe 5 hits out of 50 tries.
It's dangerous, exhausting work. And then the processing on deck.
Yeah.
The try works.
Those brick furnaces where the harpooneers become these Tartarian shapes like stokers in hell boiling down the blubber.
The description is intense. The ship freighted with savages and laden with fire and burning a corpse. He calls it the material counterpart of her monomaniac commander's soul.
Chilling, and the routine is relentless. 96 hours of nonstop labor processing a whale.
Only here, there she blows. And have to start all over again. It's just brutal. Hashtag take 3, confrontation and fate.
So all these threads, the industry, the philosophy, the danger, they all start weaving together as the journey progresses.
Yeah, and Melville gives us this amazing metaphor for it. Ishmael and Queequeg are weaving a mat, a sword mat.
Right, and Ishmael gets philosophical about it. The fixed warp of the mat is necessity. His own shuttle weaving back and forth is free will.
And Queequeg randomly striking the mat with his sword as they weave. That's chance.
And he concludes they're no wise incompatible, all interweavingly working together. Necessity, free will, chance. All shaping our lives simultaneously.
It's such a powerful image for how life works, isn't it? These
Yeah.
forces aren't necessarily opposed. They're all part of the same fabric.
And amidst all this heavy philosophy and brutal work, there are these strange moments of connection, like the sperm squeezing scene.
Oh, that scene. It's
Yeah.
bizarre but memorable. Processing the spermaceti, Ishmael finds himself unwittingly squeezing his shipmate's hands in the oily mass.
And he feels this overwhelming, abounding, affectionate, friendly, loving feeling. He wishes they could all just squeeze ourselves universally into the very milk and sperm of kindness.
It's so unexpected, this profound tenderness emerging from the muck and physicality of the job, a flash of humanity in the midst of it all.
But then, stark contrast again with the story of Pip.
Oh, poor Pip. The young black cabin boy, considered insignificant, he falls overboard during a chase.
Then gets left behind in the middle of the ocean. They rescue him physically, but mentally.
The sea had jeeringly kept his finite body up, but drowned the infinite of his soul. He comes back. Changed. An idiot in the crew's eyes.
But Ishmael sees something else. He says Pip saw God's foot upon the treadle of the loom. He embodies this paradox. Man's insanity is heaven's sense.
Pip's madness holds a kind of cosmic insight, a truth deeper than sanity, perhaps. It's another angle on that ungraspable phantom found through profound trauma, a real counterpoint to Ahab's very different kind of madness.
Speaking of Ahab, his will remains absolute, even against nature itself. Remember the typhoon scene?
Incredible moment. The storm is raging. The compass needles are spinning uselessly because of the electrical charge in the air.
Chaos. But Ahab is calm. He takes the lance, magnetizes it, using the ship's electricity.
And makes his own compass. Declares, out of this bit of steel, Ahab can make one of his own. Look ye. If Ahab be not lord of the level lodestone.
It's sheer defiance, almost godlike arrogance, bending natural forces to his will. Utterly compelling, but also deeply disturbing.
And that relentless will drives the final chase. They encounter the ship Delight.
Yeah, miserably misnamed, carrying the wreckage of a boat destroyed by Moby Dick. A terrible omen.
And then finally, the white whale himself appears, described with this strange mix of calm and violence.
A mighty mildness of repose and swiftness, yet he's the vesture of tornadoes. Beautiful but terrifying.
And his intelligent malignity is stressed. His attacks aren't random, they seem calculated.
The chase is relentless. Melville describes how skilled captains track whales for hundreds of miles, predicting their movements like clockwork.
But Moby Dick isn't just any whale. He turns on the hunters, rushing among the boats with open jaws, annihilating each separate plank.
It's personal. It's intelligent warfare.
And then the prophecies start coming true. The sight of Fedallah.
Oh, God. Lashed to Moby Dick's back by the harpoon lines. Dead, his eyes staring at Ahab as the whale swims past. Just nightmarish.
It's the fulfillment of that dark pact, and the climax is swift and brutal.
Moby Dick turns on the Pequod itself, rams the ship with that solid white buttress of his forehead.
The ship is doomed, and that final image.
Tashtego sinking with the ship, still trying to nail Ahab's flag to the mast.
And accidentally traps a skyhawk against the mast with the flag.
Yeah.
So the ship goes down, dragging this symbol of heaven, this living creature, folded into Ahab's banner.
Dragging a living part of heaven along with her. It's just an unbelievably powerful, tragic, apocalyptic ending.
Yeah.
Consuming everything. #tag outro.
Wow, we have really covered some ground there. From philosophy to brutality to cosmic horror almost.
Absolutely. We've gone from Ishmael's inner turmoil and his search for meaning through the rough camaraderie and harsh realities of whaling.
To the terrifying enigma of the white whale and Captain Ahab's all-consuming destructive obsession.
Yeah, we've seen human nature pushed to its limits, grappling with forces way beyond its control, the unknown, fate, obsession itself, and the devastating consequences when one man's will tries to dominate everything.
So what does all this mean for you, listening? Ishmael thought about necessity, free will, and chance all weaving together. Pip found a kind of divine insight in madness.
Maybe the deepest truths, even those moments of surprising connection, that milk and sperm of kindness, aren't found by running from the storm, but by sailing right into it.
Facing it bravely, recognizing that ungraspable phantom of life in the challenges, the connections, maybe even in our own obsessions.
The journey itself, maybe that's the point. So a final thought to leave you with. What white whales might you be pursuing in your own life? And what truths, perhaps uncomfortable ones, might that pursuit reveal about you and the world you navigate?